Okay, so yesterday we learned about how do we deal with arrays, and we discussed about how do we handle array manipulations. We will see today. We learned about reading values from array and reading values from array and presenting in the UI. So we will see one more time basically how we can do. What are the various methods like see. Let's take one new file array.html and let's put some data. Arrays, okay, and script. We have some categories, some electronic something, some footwear and fashion, some. Okay. Now in this, we are designing a function body load, and in the body on load, body load. So I will use little bit here link. Relation is a style sheet. href is node modules bootstrap. Okay. And let's keep container fluid, and in this we have a div class as row, and here just I will keep heading arrays. Okay, and we have a div, so class call. Okay, in this column we have some categories list. I have an ordered list. Now into this ordered list, we want to display all the categories. So whatever categories are present in array, we want to present all that inside that categories list. So class text center, okay, BG danger text white, okay. This is in the background. Categories list, I want to present all the items in ordered list. So first here we need to perform an iteration. So for var category of categories, this is an iterator. Yesterday we discussed about two iterators, very commonly used iterators. One is for in, for off. For in is used for reading all properties. For off is used for reading all values. Map is used for reading all. So that is an map is an implicit iterator. So these are explicit iterators. And for every category, that means it is reading every category from this collection and it is storing in this category reference. Now for every category, we need to create a list item. So var li, you can give this variable name anything. I am reasonably giving same name li. How to create a list item? Document dot create element li. So it is a list item, and li dot inner html, the category name. Category name must be displayed inside. Now after this, we need to add this into ordered list. Document dot query selector ol. Into that we need to add append child. Which one to add? Li. That's it. That means we are creating a list item, and into the list item we are storing this category name and adding that list item into ordered list. So because it is an iterator, so it is an iterator. Now what it is going to do, that iterator is going to perform iteration. How it is going to handle iteration, it will read the first category. From categories, it will read the first category. And that first category will, for first category, it will print in list item. And it will add that into ordered list. And this, it will repeat. This, it will repeat until this categories is finished. That means for every item, it is going to repeat that. That means for every item, it will prepare a list of categories and present it. Now you see here, so it is going to present that list here. So it is reading and presenting the list of all categories: electronic, footwear, fashion. So we will do one thing, one more here. Suppose in another column, div, class, column. So here we will put another heading. So as a select category, and here we create a drop down, and we will put class as form select. Into the drop down, we want to add all the categories. Then same loop iterator we have to use this time. In order to add anything into drop down, it must be option. That means where option is equal to document.create element option. And generally option contains 4 properties: text, value, selected, disabled. In HTML, 3 attributes. Text is written between option, but properties we have 4. Option contains value. Value means what you want to submit. And text means what you want to display, what you want to show. Enabled means, disabled means it will show, but it will not be selected. Read on, we have selected means default selected. So here for option, we have to define text. The category name is used as text, and add this option into query selector by using query selector select dot append child. Which one to append? Option. Now you can see that a drop down is created dynamically. Into the drop down, these items are added dynamically. The array elements are added. For example, suppose I am creating another column, class, another column, and here I given as, suppose I will give as table. So this is a table I will give, yeah. Categories table, okay. Below this, I am designing a table. So with class, table and table hover, okay, and table dark, we are using that table. Now below this we have t head, table header, th. In that I will define category, okay, categories, okay. In that we have t body, okay. Now every category must be added in rows. That means now we need to generate a row. This is little bit complex now. Here we want all the categories in rows. So let's go here, and in the same iterator, we need to create a row. How to create a row? Document dot create element tr, okay. But we know that in the row you can't add anything directly. In the row we need a cell. That means we need to create a cell. Document dot create element td. In the cell, we can put inner HTML as category name. Now, this cell must be added into row. So that means tr dot append child td. That means first cell is added into row, then row is added into table body. That means first we created a cell, cell is added to row, row is added to table. Not table, row is added to table body. So this row must be added into table body. So document dot query selector, what is it? T body. T body and dot append child. Into the body, we need to add row. That means now every category, it will generate a row and it will add it. So that is how we generate a table row. Later, complex rows we can generate. Currently, our array is simple. That is the reason we can do only this much. Later, when array becomes complex, you can put various columns and rows of data. So dynamically presenting the data, this is very important. And for that, we have to do this. So if you ask like, this is very lengthy, is there any shortcut? We have shortcut, but not JavaScript, jQuery. In JavaScript, this is the maximum shortcut, right? Other than this, you can't do anything. So in JavaScript, this is the only way. So if you want little better, then go to jQuery. More little better, then go to Angular or React. But in JavaScript, this is how we do. So, and even you know jQuery, in interviews, they ask JavaScript only, because they have to test your logical skills, how much you can go extreme into logic, how you can build through code. And if you can do that, you are a perfect programmer, right? That is the reason even you learn advanced technologies, people will test on logical skills in JavaScript only. So for freshers, you must be very strong in such kind of scenarios. So now this is beginning. We will design more complex things and see them. So this is one example of just presenting the data. This is reading values from array and presenting. Yesterday already I told you. So two steps are there. Creating a new element. How to do that? Document dot create element, and you have to define the tag name. Another option is adding element into page. So we have to use append child. These two things and element name, element reference actually. We have to use element reference. These are the two steps, creating a new element and adding the element. Creating a new element and adding the element into that. That's how we define. So example for this. So this is an example. That is the example. Just now what we saw, right? That is example. This is one option for handling array presentation. How we can present the data. So yesterday already I given that adding element and how you can append the contents. Now next important here, another question comes is, another important question is, what type of data we can store in array? So answer is, array can handle any type of data. Any type of data. So both primitive, non-primitive, non-primitive, and primitive, non-primitive, and functions. Array can handle any type of data, both primitive type, non-primitive type, and even a function also can be there inside an array. So you can have any type of data inside array. So there is no restriction for that, because array allocates memory, and in memory you can store anything. Anything can be stored in memory. So let's see here. So we will go to a small design now. Yeah, example here, array data. Okay, here just I am writing a script, and in this I defined var values is array. In that you can have a string type, you can have a number type, you can have a boolean type, you can have another array, you can have another array inside it. It can have again some string, again some values, like this. Now it can have so many things. It can have a function inside it. It can have a function inside it. Suppose I said, so document dot write and say hello. So I will simply put function in array, something like this. Now the point here is how to access that. That's nothing complex. Suppose I want to access and print document dot write. I want to print this mobile. Then how do we access that? So the array name is values. Values is an array. In that A is at 0, 1000 is at 1, true is at 2. This array is at 3. At 3. So array is at 3. At 3, we have an array. Array means again accessed with a square brace. At 3 position, at 3 is index. And technically it is property. Yesterday we discussed it. At this property, we have an array. We access that array by using square brace. In that array, I want mobile. Its index is 1. Because 0 is TV and mobile is 1. Now we access this now, and you can see it prints that value, mobile. It prints that. That's simple, nothing complicated. Right? That means you can have an array, inside that array, another array, anything can be there. Right? Generally, people who learn other technologies, they come up with a question like, in my technology, I have 1 dimension, 2 dimension. Here you can have any number of dimensions. Right? You can keep any number of dimensions. So another is, I want to access that function. Then document dot write. How do we access the function? Function is obviously at values of 4. And at 4, there is a function. And how to call the function? A function inside array don't have any name. Then its name is nothing but memory reference name. This is 4. And at 4, there is a function. You can access function with a parenthesis. Because function is obviously accessed with a parenthesis. That means we have to define that. Then it can able to call that and present it. Function in array. And it is returning some undefined. Undefined is very simple, because undefined means you are trying to print it. Actually, our function itself is printing something. Then what we do? We don't use document.write, because function itself is printing a message. You have to just call the function. So values of 4, and this is calling that function. and that function is already printing the detail function in array. We are printing the detail. So here I will put a line break just for printing that. In the next line it will print it. So this is any type of value you can store and you can access. So that is a simple example for that. So array can have any type of value. You can store any kind of values. This is basic point and how to access and use it. If anybody asked like, so anybody asked like why we need a function in array? Why we need a function in array? Okay, reasonable. Array in strings and all these are reasonable. Why we need a function in array? What is the purpose of a function in array? If anyone asks that question, the answer is array is defined with functions. Array is defined with functions to handle callback mechanism. So functions in array are used for handling callback mechanism. Callback is nothing but callback is a technique where functions will execute according to situation. That means you don't call them manually. Depending on situation, they will execute. If condition satisfied, it will do one work. If not satisfied, it will do another work. According to the situation, they will. Functions means the functions which run as per situation. So generally, we have to call the functions, but here they will execute according to situation. That is very common actual. For example, C means where you need this kind of concept. Suppose here in this script, authorize is an array which is expecting here some admin, and here it is having a function. This function will have a document dot write. So login success. Dot write. So this is invalid password. Now we have three things here. We have a password, we have that means first we string, second one is success and all this. Actually, how do we access them and use them? How we can access and use them? Generally, to access and use them, you need properties like authorize of 0, their password is there. One is to handle this kind of situation easily. So JavaScript ES5 higher version. Array destruction. Array destruction is not destroying array, deconstructing array actually. So JavaScript higher versions it introduced array destruction. What is this array destruction? So the concept of array destruction, actually See, without destructing technique, example, without destruction, how works? Suppose we have var value and suppose I said some John. Now we need to separate these two values and use them in. Then what we do? Var number, where we say, suppose SNO, serial number, is equal to values of 1. That means John serial number and his name is at 1 index. We are accessing it. Fine. This is how without so that we can access serial number for this value. You can access name for this value. But now what happened is with the destruction, 10 and John. Now with the destruction, you can declare serial is equal to values. That's it. That is simple. That means now what happens here is in this array, and another will store in the second reference. That's simple. We don't need this technique anymore. We can just use this destructing technique. Now, for example, suppose here you can access only what you needed. Suppose I entered like var some serial. Now, what will be the value of salary? There is no value for that. Array contains only 2 values, but undefined. Because what is there in array that is only accessed and var serial number and is equal to values. Now there is no problem. Now what value will be stored in serial number? That means serial number is equal to 10. Other values, there is no reference, they will not be stored. It's easy. So now what we do here, in this example, we have simply var password type is string. What is the type of success and failure? Is equal to admin. Then what to do? Success. Success is a function. Else what to do? So failure. Failure is a function. That's how we do. That means, of course, you can ask the password to be entered and you can ask any another value. Suppose I said, so your password is equal to prompt. I said enter password, and here I will compare that password with the or your password is matching with that password, then it will show that message. That means here it is going to handle that. It is asking your password. You said admin, then it says success. And you are defining some wrong password, then it says invalid. That means which function on the situation. This is called callback mechanism. That means you keep all the functions. It will decide which one to execute according to situation. This way. And here we are using a destruction technique, and through that we are handling it. So array destruction, without destruction, read 0, 1, 2, store in separate variables and handle them, right? This is destructing technique and working with that. This is an example. This is an example. We created an array. Very important one note you should know is be anonymous. Functions in array must be anonymous. Anonymous means anonymous function, anonymous functions. Anonymous functions. Anonymous function will not have a name. That means you cannot give a name for the function when you are writing inside an array. Function should be without name. So that means function is anonymous. Anonymous. Function is not having a name. Generally, function will have a name, success, like this. This is invalid. So functions usually have a name, but when you are dealing with functions in an array, they cannot have a name. Should be anonymous type, anonymous. That's very important while working with the function in array. Any type of values. Next, important is adding values into array. How we can add values into? We have functions like push and unshift and splice. Splice. These are used for adding values into array. Push last elements. Will add new values as first element. As first elements. So and splice will add at any position. At any specific position. You can add values at any specific. Shift and splice. A new value as last item. So dynamic examples we will see later. First, we have to write like this: array name dot push like this, you can add any number of items. Any number of items. Dot unshift item 1, item 2, like this. Like array name, like splice. Here, start index, delete count, and I like this. What is that I will show? That's how generally these syntaxes are used. So where to align to add, we can define that. That is adding values into array. First, syntactically, we will see them. Later, we can implement in here array. Okay. Here you can electronics, footwear, fashion. So using categories dot push, and I am defining here select a category. Select a category. Then you can see this one will be added as a last item. It will be added as last item. Here as unshift, then it will be added as first item. Select a category will be after electronics, one more category I want to add. Then categories dot splice electronics. But before electronics, one more item we added. That means currently electronics position is 1. In array it is 0, but dynamically one more is added before it. Then you want to add at 2 after electronics. Then at 2 already there is footwear. What you should happen to that? So you can delete it. Deleting 0. I don't want to delete anything. 0. Okay, what you want to add? I want to add some, suppose like men's position without disturbing this. Start index, where to add? Delete count will add multiple items, just comma comma. You can define multiple items. So that means if you don't want to delete anything, that means example here categories dot splice. Here we have start index is 1, delete count is what item to add. Suppose men's clothing, something like this. We are adding like this. We are adding like this. That means at one index, without deleting any content, it will add this new value. That is splice. Splice allow to add anywhere you want. Syntax example, we will put in one example dynamically how we can do that. So next important is how we can removing items, removing values from array. How you can remove values from array? To remove values from array, we have pop. Splice is again used for that. Pop, it removes and returns the last item. First item. And splice, it removes and returns so here you have will not have items to add because it is removing from which in that is removing values from array. Right. So we have pop, we have shift and splice. Why I return removes and returns? That means it removes that and also shows that the items. So see here, suppose I will clean these two things. Basically this. I want to remove last item, fashion. Then I will just write here. Categories dot pop. And I will put removed. And you can see it says that fashion removed. It says that fashion removed. Okay, then you see, so it should display that fashion removed last one. It will remove that fashion. It will have only these two. So that means what it is doing, it is removing and it is showing its name, returning it. It removes and returns. First one, it says electronics removed. That means electronics is removed from there. Suppose I am using splice. Splice is simple. Splice. From there, how many to remove? Only one. Then one. You can say two. That means from there it will remove second one. That means only now electronics will be there. Fashion and footwear removed. Fashion and footwear removed, and it is displaying only electronics. That means you can remove removing. So example is simple, like we have categories dot pop, and we have categories dot shift. Just like this. So this is nothing but removes two items. Two items from one index. That is how it works. Now, usually we use dynamically and handle them dynamically using various references. Actually, for example, see, later we can build one complete example for that. Let's see. Dot h that fashion remote. It says that fashion remote. Yeah. So and let's link relation as style sheet, and href is node module CSS, bootstrap CSS. Okay, and in the body section, let's keep the body as container fluid, and here we will add one simple interface like this. So I will put a heading, array manipulations. Now in this we will shift will return. So we are creating a simple field set here, and in that legend, and I am adding add new item. Okay. Put type is equal to text, class is equal to form control, and here I will keep this in a div with class as input group. Okay, and beside this we will keep a button and class as btn and btn primary, and say add for adding an item here, add new city. Okay, so I will keep this field set in a div, and in this left column I will add that left panel is having this. I will keep as column 9. Okay, this is the screen now. Now right side I want to display. So here I want to display an ordered list. So and here we want to display the cities. So cities list, or I will put here cities list. So class is equal to form select. Okay, that is the drop down we are having. Now what we want to do is we want to add some items into this list. So I will put ID as LST categories on body load, on load, body load. On body load, here we are defining a script, and footwear. We are using cities now. Okay, now we need to manipulate this and display function. So logic for where item reasonably city of, we will create an option document dot create element option, and option dot text is equal to city. Option dynamically, so that contains that list here. That list is there. This is actually reading every item from the cities and it is adding. This I want to do so many times. Suppose if user added one more city, then this list should update again. Then I will cut this and write in a file. This logic will be there, so that I can reuse this logic again and again. Currently, that load city should work on body load. So on body load, we will call load city. I will enter city name. So any city name, and I click on add. That must be added into this list. Okay. Depending on where you want to add, as first item, last item, or in between somewhere. So first, how to text box ID txt city. When to add? When the button is clicked. On click is btn add click. So, or say simply add click. Okay. On add click, first we have to collect a city name. So and dot get element by ID txt name txt city dot value. So whatever city name, which one to push? City city name. So dollar expression city name. So this message I will display. After that, that newly added list must be shown again. Says load cities again, because after adding every item, again it should load the new list, because the list is already loaded at time of body load. One more option is after Mumbai and click on add, and when I click on add, it is repeated. It is added, but it is adding to existing list. So every time when you are adding a new item, you have to clean up all that existing list and add it. That means here, while loading the city, we are loading the cities. While loading the cities, before loading, if any existing cities are there, clean them up. That means document down dot inner HTML is empty. Options are there, clean those options and add again. Otherwise, it will continues to grow with existing, right? This before adding some Mumbai and click on added, and you can this adding. I don't want this name to still stay there. That's your wish. So if you don't want that to still stay there, then document dot get element by ID txt city dot value is equal to empty. We need to keep that empty. So this is and add. So city added, Mumbai added to list. Okay. And it is cleaned up. I'm adding another city, some Chennai. So add, and this is added to list. Okay. Now this is added. Now whatever the items you are adding to, now which item they selected, I want to delete it. That means we will div, and here we will put a class as input group, and here I will put a button, say class as btn and btn ding. That means now when user selects any city and click on remove, that must be cleaned up, deleted. That from array, we have to remove from the array. So now how do we remove that from the array? That means on the button click. So button click, we have to write on click. This is the remove click. On remove click, we have to first identify which city they selected. Which city they selected. Which city, they can select anything from the list. Then I will create a variable selected city name. And how to get the selected city name? LST cities dot value. LST cities, huh? So what is the name? I give an LST categories, huh? Okay. We will put reasonable cities, huh? Need to change that everywhere, huh? Right? Instead of LST categories, I will put LST cities. That will be better. Only name reasonable I am giving, huh? And this is selected city name. Now what we have to do is we have to find out at which index that city is there. We got the city, fine, but we need to, in order to remove, we need to know at which index it is present. That means I will create here selected city index. How to get the, how to know at which location that particular string is present? We know that. For that, we have to use a function called, what is that? We have arrays cities dot which function? Index of which one? Selected city name. That means it will search for that selected city in the list. remove that city. At that index, we have to remove the city. So how to remove? Cities dot splice. It is selected city index. This is you have to splice. How many from there you have to splice? One. That you can just put a message. So we will put a message here saying that alert we will put here. Okay, I will put an expression and remove. Okay, after the removing the city, what we have to do? We have to load cities again. City, it should refresh again. That means we need to load the fresh list again. So that is load cities done. Now let's see. Here I have this Delhi, Hyderabad. I selected Hyderabad and click on remove city. Hyderabad removed. Okay, gone. That is not there in the list. We are adding some so another Mumbai added, and that is also added into this added. Now people come with a lot of questions thinking that they are intelligent, but for every concept you have to write logic. Now somebody will come with an intelligent question, sir, if I add one more city by the same again and click on add. Okay, Delhi added 2 times. Of course it will add. Now what you have to do as a programmer, you have add if there tell a message that city exists. Simply it will not work. You have to write logic for everything. You can do everything. Only the point is, for every concept you need to write logic. That means how do I know in the list or not? How do I know whether it is already there in the list or not? That means actually here we are adding city. When you entered a city name, before you push and add and display all these, what we have to do is we have to check whether it is present or not. Index number. If index, you use index of, I will show you here simply. Suppose, so I will put a variable, say check of city name. Understood? That means the city name you entered in text box. First we are verifying whether it is there or not. It is there or not. So that means it is actually city index. City index. So that means what it will do, you entered some city name in a if it is not there, what city index will return? If it is not there, what city? Right? -1 will be returned if it is not found. If it is found, it will be 0. From 0, any value came means it is there. -1 came means it is not there. That means what? City index. If city index is equal to -1, that means if it is not there, then add. That means this push city exists. So try another, something like this. Try another. This is the message we are displaying. So now here, so point is, suppose already Delhi, Hyderabad is there. I am adding some Delhi again, click on add, it says city exists, try another. Now it is not adding that again. So I entered some, suppose another, and click on add, then city added to list, it is there. Now again I am trying that Chennai, so and click on add, then city exists, try another, because it is already added now, right? You have to manage everything. Now our intelligent people come with one more question. You are genius people, invent new things, scientists, eh? After all, these are all general consequences, they are nothing special, but people come with. Now what it will do, it will add that lowercase. Now how do you control this? So that means you can check the case of first letter, na? You can check uppercase, lowercase. That's why you learn string functions. For every consequence you have to write logic. It simply, it will not work. For every consequence you have to write logic. That means you need to get the first character, check it's greater than between 65 to 90 character codes. We have to learn them. So that means, that is the reason generally what we do is we ask the user to enter any case they want. They can. So we will transform the case they have entered, and finally we will put one. That is very important. Such logics you will able to handle, right? So generally when you are dealing with, so these kind of interaction, and how we can dynamically add the items. For example, so here is this dynamically adding and removing items from array. This again add and remove items. Now another important is here. So another concept is sorting array elements. We have sort and we have reverse. In ascending order, and reverse is not descending order, it sorts order, reverse order of their precedence, or you say their occurrence, reverse order of their occurrence. Ascending order, but reverse will not do descending order. Means from bottom to top. Then how to define in descending order is you can sort and reverse. If you sort and reverse, then it will come in descending order. So here, so for example, see, syntactically we have to just define array name dot sort, or the array name dot reverse. Array name sort, array name reverse. Right. Suppose Suppose we want to sort the elements and display them. So here, first I will show just basic thing. Cities is equal to some Delhi. So we say some Hyderabad like this. So say Chennai, some Hyderabad, some like this we define. Now here we are printing them for where item city of cities. And we want to print city, document dot write city, and put a break. Okay, all these cities are printed like this. It will print in the same order how they are actually stored. But I want alphabetically arranged. Then what we do is printing this, we can just keep cities dot sort. Cities dot sort. That then it will display in order, alphabetically arranged. Now, actually, suppose if I use reverse, it is not reverse order, means it's not descending order. It is reverse like that. It will display in that way. Then how do you display in descending order? Simple. First you arrange, so cities, but you arrange cities in order. After that, arrange them in reverse. Default reverse is not descending order. We have to use the combination like this. You can apply dynamically. Suppose I'm adding some city. So, and added, okay, added, the city added. But I want to sort and add. Of course, that is not a big concept. Here, have to do that is cities dot what sort, then load. That's it. That means you need to sort and load, right? So that means now I added some Chennai. So and add, okay, it is added, then it is after it. It will automatically arrange in an order. It can means you can add a button here. Where is it? Yeah, here we have a button. So and on click sort reverse, and I said order icons will be there, down arrow, up arrow, the reverse orders, like you can get that. I will just put as so reverse sort or sort like that. Something, yeah. And when I click on reverse sort, it should sort in reverse order. So in that case, same. So what we have to do, we have to write a function sort reverse, and what it should do, it should get the cities. First it should sort, after that get the cities, and it should reverse. After that it should load cities. That means here we are defining some option like, so added, that's added. So some Mumbai like this, and added this. We are they are alphabetically arranged. So now when I click on sort reverse, then it should reverse that and display. What happened? Any problem? Spelling wrong or anything that where is this happening? So load cities. We'll just put here the function name correct. Yeah, sort reverse. On that, some point is missing where we have load cities. Acha, already they're sorted, right? No? Then in reverse, what you have to do, just no need to sort that, right? And we have to use load cities. Right. So that means, so it will get that. That's added C, that is added. Okay. And we have means we are testing first that is working or not. It's working. Okay. Next, it is getting this cities reverse or not. We will check that also. How to check this? Console.log what cities. It will show whether it is getting in reverse order or not. In console, it should display. Now I will say reverse. Reverse also working. Then what we have to do? Load this again, right? So what is happening here is cities, load cities. Load cities. First we will do this. And you can see reverse. So reverse, then it that is reverse sorted. And one more option is button and on click. So this is a sort ASC, some ascending. So class BTN and BTN some info warning. Okay. And we will put sort. Okay. Now we will write the function here again. So what is it? Function. What is it? Sort ascending. Okay. What is we can remove it. We can just put here cities dot sort, cities dot sort and load cities. That's it. So here you can see now two options are there. I will load, okay, and add, that is added, and I am adding one more Chennai. Okay, add, that is added on sort, then it will add everything in ascending order. I set on reverse, then it will be in reverse order. It is going to, because if I do that in the adding itself, then here we don't need to write this sort. We can just put as a reverse option. That's it. This is arranging that. Generally what you can do, put symbols, up arrow, down arrow, reverse orders. This is adding the items, removing the items, and sorting the items. Now once you know this, now we have some more options to work. This is an example. I will copy this example. We made some changes into it. Knowing this, now in the array manipulations, one more you have to know is searching for element in array. Already we done it. No need to explain. What are the options required for searching for any element in array? Find, filter. These are searching only. Already we learned. What find will do? It will search based on the condition and return 1. What filter will do? It will search based on the condition and it will return index number. If it is not there, -1. If it is there, it will return the index. These all things we already know. These are the same concept we have to use. This is array. Now we need to know about object type. Then we can deal with more complex things. This is what generally we call as JSON. That we will see in next session. Tomorrow we'll do that. Tomorrow concept in front-end development process. Anywhere when you are working with data, two things. One is object, another one is array. Data will be either in object form or in array. You need to know these two, right? That we will see in the next session. Tomorrow we will do that.